Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here in the mighty metropolis of Marnie, Iowa, and check out what we have today, a Royal Enfield Classic 500. Quite the bike, really a nifty thing. These are kind of rare anymore, they don't make them anymore. When they come in, they go right back out. This one came in the other day. She's already sold, but we got permission to take her for a ride, so I like riding these. They're a lot of fun. They are a 500cc single cylinder. They've got lifters down here, overhead valves. This one's fuel injected. It's got a kickstart and an electric start. There's a starter right there. Wonderful 5-speed transmission for its era, you know. Front brake on this hot rod is about a 280mm disc with a dual piston caliper. I don't know if that's a vibri or not. Rear is a drum usually. Let's check it out. Oh yeah, this is definitely a drum. Right back in there somewhere. I love the old drums. I grew up on drum brakes, so you know how that goes. It's got a 90-90-19 on the front for a tire. Brand new tires, by the way. And a 110-80-18 on the rear. Front forks are probably 41mm. Let me look here. I'm guessing 41mm, but there's about 5.1 inches of travel there. They're also covered. That's about 130mm. The rear travel would be about 3.1 inches. Got these nifty inverted shocks. I think they came like that. Kind of a neat looking thing here. You know, it's got the loop frame, and let's go through the specs here. Stock seat would be 31.5 inches or about 800mm. Wheelbase, and I like this about it, 53.9 inches. That's 1370mm. Fuel tank, 3.8 gallons, 14.5 liters. Now, they get excellent gas mileage. They get, you know, they get 60-70 miles a gallon, so that's really quite a range on a bike like this. Wet weight 412 pounds or about 187 kilograms. Not too darn bad, huh? Well, let's throw that list down and just kind of take a look at this hot rod. This one's got the yellow headlight. These nifty, I think they're called Duro tires. Spoke wheels, of course. Covered forks, got this nifty metal plate there. Guy from India told me that's where they put they have to have front number plate, so that's where they attach it. Wonderful pilot eyes or tiger eyes. This is a cast aluminum nacelle right there. Beautiful tank, knee pads. Check out that pipe. I don't know if I think that's an aftermarket pipe. I love the way this whole thing looks through here. Little tool case right there. I don't know if they actually put tools in them anymore, but you know, isn't that just a beautiful thing? Neat looking solo seat with a P-pad arrangement. Everything's metal on these, by the way. Just every single thing. Look at that back end. Absolutely gorgeous machine. Beautiful in every way. Jumping up here, minimalist dash. I mean, ultra minimalist. No gas gauge. It does have a fuel light and an engine light. Has a speedometer, and that's about it. No trip meter. But this one has 941 miles. Wow, that's a low mile bike. Over here, it's got this. It is fuel injected, but it has this kind of an old kind of style choke. Flash to pass light button right there. High lows, blinkers, horn, kill switch, hazard lights, start button, fuel, of course the clutch and the brake. Wonderful machine, wonderful machine. You know what? I love the way this thing looks, but I think it's time to go for a ride. Let me gear up and we will do so. Wahoo! Listen to that low RPM rumble. I don't know if I mentioned it, has a 499cc engine, about 27 horsepower stock, and about 31 foot-pounds of torque. So, you know, it's got a good amount of torque. That's about 41 Newton meters. A very vibey bike by modern standards. Let's do the quick turn here. Very narrow, very short wheelbase, 53 point something inches. I like it. This is classic motorcycling at its finest. I love these things. If you want a vintage bike but want the benefits of a modern one, you know, when you want the feel, the rattle, I don't want to call it rattle, the shake, this is the bike to get. Very nice indeed. There's really quite a following for these. The modern ones are superb. Just superb machines. It's, a friend of mine calls them vestigial motorcycles. It's the kind of motorcycle, you know, it's nice to have, but there's no good reason anymore to have them because they're so, hey, we didn't do our spin tests. Because there are better bikes out there, but there's none that are as fun. Look how tight this thing turns. Holy moly. That is a tight turning machine. Absolutely wonderful turning machine. It's that short wheelbase. What a hoot. What a hoot. Okay. just over that house over yonder are a mess of Bigfoots. We call that Bigfoot Hill. I'm going to post a picture of that so y'all can see that right now. Very good sounding bike. It's a low RPM engine. Has a low RPM sound, you know, that long stroke, narrow bore engine kind of thing. Air cooled, of course. Beautiful, beautiful. Welcome to South Marnie. Those new tires are nice. I think they're Duros front and rear. I think that's what they were called. Engine, you can really tell it's a long stroke engine. Real tractor kind of a motor. Beautiful thing. Look at that. Turns excellent. Absolutely nice tight turning. I think I said the front disc was a 280 millimeter with a dual piston caliper. I'm not sure if they're Vibri or not. The rear is a drum. I love drum brakes on the rear. Yeah, you know what? Let's go make some noise. Let's do a little bit of a highway run here. What a grin. What a grin. You can feel it shaking and rattling, especially in the foot pegs. In the hands, it's not so bad. It's a bike with that vintage feel. How's that sound, huh? Very good sounding pipe. I'm not sure what kind of pipe that is, but they did well with it. I did have one of these on the interstate once, and it did interstate speed. I mean, it did it just fine, and it held speed going uphill. You know, it's got so much torque. I think I said 31 foot-pounds or 41 newton meters, so pretty darn good. Just roaring to life here. Welcome to Marnie, Iowa, home of Baxter Cycles, seller of new and used Royal Enfields like this one, Triumphs, classic British bikes of many types. Get yourself over here for a visit or go to baxtercycles.com. Hey, time for the old hill spin test, but we got a car behind us. Let's let that thing go by. This is the Derailed Grill right here. Next time you're in Marnie, make sure you get in there and give those guys a try. That is the home of the famous Wahoo burger, by golly. Hey, we're going to do the reverse spin test this time. How's that sound, huh? You got to get to Marnie and try the old Wahoo burger. It's quite the burger. Wahoo! Oh, hey, let's take a look at the mirror over here in the looking glass. Okay, there she is. I said 31.5 inch seat height. That's 800 millimeters. Check that out, huh? Very good looking bike in the OD green. Boy, it's a neat, nifty looking thing. I like the spoke wheels. I like the drum brake on the rear. I like the way the back end's put together. It really has that classic look, that loop frame, all that neat stuff. Really a wonderful, wonderful machine, isn't it? Knee pads. The little seat springs under the seat there. Do those work? Yes, they do. Quite a machine indeed. Very good, very classic looking motorcycle. Truly a fun thing to ride. Truly a fun thing to ride. I think I put 150 miles on one of these one day. And it, you know, it takes a little energy to do it. They're a little demanding as far as that goes, physical, but they're sure worth having. These things are going to be collectors far into the future, is my belief. Me gusta mucho. So sitting on the bike, you sit upright. The bars are low, but they do reach to you because I think it's because it's a narrow space. Your knees and your hips about the same height. And it looks like my heels are actually behind my knees, but slightly. However, there's a lot of room through that triangle right there. So it doesn't really feel cramped at all. If I were going to do a lot of riding on this, I might want like a highway peg. You know, you can get those crash bars and stuff. But for just ordinary owning, I don't think I own a bike with highway pegs right now, as a matter of fact. Handling wise, it's a fun bike. You know, in the garage, in the parking lot, easy to push around, no trouble at all. Quite light. I can't remember what it was, 412 pounds, something like that, 185 kilograms. In a town like this, in a parking lot or in a town like this, absolutely easy. Very, very stable, very good handling. You do sit on top of the bike, you're high up on it, bars are close to you. Wonderful machine that way. On the two-lane blacktop, it's a dream on there. It's a Vibri bike, so you will feel it. And you will feel it in a long ride. You know, you might want thick gloves, if you know what I mean. As far as the interstate goes, I did take one. I think I said that earlier. I took one on the interstate, and it worked okay. I wouldn't want to travel from here to, you know, the end of the earth and back on it, but on the interstate, it did fine. I do have a friend, he and his son each have a 500 Classic like this, and they take theirs every summer. They go on a long ride trip. One year they went to Glacier National Park, and I know they've gone farther. I know they've gone all the way out to the west coast. And I think Glacier from here is 1,100 or 1,400 miles, something like that, one way. So they really, you know, they can do it on these things. It's really an amazing machine. Alrighty, my friends, if y'all are in the market for a new or used Royal Enfield, Triumph, classic British bike of any type, need parts, thingamajigs, doodads, stuff of any type, coats, jackets, gear, underwear and socks, get yourself over here to Baxter Cycle in the mighty metropolis of Marnie, Iowa, or go to baxtercycle.com. Those guys can help you out. Now it's a beautiful day out, and I want to go ride some more motorcycles. Life is good, my friends. Get out there and ride. Wahoo! Yippee-yi-yay! Yippee-yi-yo! Down the road we go. Beautiful, beautiful machine. Turn the radio on, 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 turn the radio on.